This has played all the major festivals. It went through Sundance and Cannes and Toronto and New York. And it was at Sundance that the buzz really began. And Fox Searchlight picked it up for 2 million. I know LA Times kind of dubbed you the It Girl at Sundance. Were you surprised by the reaction? Because it did seem to be almost instantaneous at Sundance.
I was definitely surprised because when it happened, it was really early into the festival. And then by the end of the festival, there were like 5 It Girls. So, but I mean, not like saying like that's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. I just thought it was funny. I was like, because I keep thinking when people do things like that, I always find it a little bit premature. And then by the end of it, it was like, we have 5 more It Girls at Sundance. And it's been a good year, I think, for all of those young women.
I was thinking a title like Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. It has its own inbuilt hall of mirrors, sort of reflecting the kind of schizophrenia and paranoia that this Martha, having escaped the cult, would feel. I didn't know whether you might have felt beyond the script to go deep into that, or I don't know if you hang out with Scientologists or get a sense of what's this world like, what are these people like?
Well, for me, actually, what you were saying, more along the lines of paranoia and schizophrenia, was how I found my way into the character. It wasn't so much about approaching it from an outside in, but really from an inside out perspective. And so to me, those type of psychological games that people play with their head who have those illnesses is what is fascinating to me. So even though that is nothing what I want people to take away from the film, that's how I approached it for me.
It's quite surprising that I know way back in 1994 you made an amazing appearance as Girl in Car in the fantastic How the West Was Fun.
Absolutely.
Then 17 years of avoiding the camera. That eventual decision, you've got quite a few movies coming out. You have obviously Martha's out there, but you've also got Silent House and Peace, Love and Understanding. And
Peace, Love and Understanding.
Just came out in America, but I think we're getting it later. But that decision to sort of finally step out and be ready for your close-up, was that a big decision, or did it feel it was always going to happen?
It wasn't even a decision. It was kind of this natural evolution of events. I went to school for acting, and then I went to school for acting is called the Atlantic Theater Company, and so they function as a theater company in New York City. And they had me start to audition for things off Broadway, and then I met casting directors, and then I auditioned for other things, and I worked as an understudy for a year. I met an agent. I went to Russia to study abroad. I came back, and then I started auditioning. It was all very fluid. I didn't make any definitive choice to start at any point. It just happened by being at the right place at the right time.
Of course, most actors, it's great to have a blank sheet and not to have any baggage when you appear on screen. And there will be a little bit of baggage, people knowing that you're related to
Absolutely.
Quite famous people. So I'm wondering, what was it like growing up with James Trent Olsen?
Maybe we should mention he's actually my oldest brother. He's the main reason for the aesthetic and the type of literature and music and films that I like, because he's an encyclopedia of all media knowledge, including comic books, and he funneled all that through me as a little girl, and so he's actually responsible for a lot of my aesthetic opinions.
I know this interview is going to go out in Ireland in January, but this is November of 2010, and only recently you had your first experience of being recognised in the street. A guy in New York came up to you and had seen the trailer, and having been close to your sisters and seeing what that world is like, I don't know whether, and now appearing on Nylon as well on the cover, I don't know whether there's a part of you is thrilled, or whether you just feel, well, this is just part of the job now. I have to accept that I'm a little bit public property now. I need to...
Well, I got excited by the man recognizing me, actually, because I was like, oh yeah, see the movie. He was like, I'm excited to see it. I'm like, oh great, because that's what you want. That's what you hope that doing the magazines will bring. I have no interest in oversaturating myself, but I have every interest in making people see this movie. So to try and find that balance is, I think, an interesting and difficult line to tread, but I'm going to try and figure it out.
Sweet. I'll give you the friendly finger. Nice to talk to you, yeah.
Nice to talk to you.